ratchet?
Yeah. Or retard that timing?
Yeah, it just got the on.
Yeah. All right.
There's it's right here. Oh. It's probably just gonna drain right there, is my guess.
Yeah, typically it's students or staff is typically whose vehicles we work on, and most of the time a student will come to me with an issue, and same with staff emails, staff will, every day it seems like it's something, and it might be, hey, I got a check engine light on my way to work, what do I do? Hey, bring it around back, we'll plug it in, we'll look at it, or my tire pressure monitor light came on the dash, what do I do? So we see a lot of that stuff on a daily basis, and then it seems like there's always a running list of, services, small repairs, brakes, tires, that we're always working on. So this van came to us for an oil change originally, and the customer stated, hey, it's got a coolant leak, can you take a look at that? So while we were doing the oil change, it's a perfect time for us to, further our investigation under the hood, and we found that, hey, coolant's coming out of the thermostat housing. So from there, I can go look up the make, model, the repair, and see, okay, that's something we can tackle. Then we obviously quote the customer the parts, and get the okay from the customer. Vehicle comes in, and then we start attacking it based on the repair order that All Data gives us. So we started taking this apart today based on the procedures lined in All Data. So they're following reference materials as they take the vehicle apart. It's not just, hey, shotgun approach, we're gonna go tear this thing down. Right. We're using, and this is not watered down reference materials. This is the same thing that the professionals are using in industry. So we're using the same programs that they're using to attack the repair, just as a technician was in a shop doing the same repair.
Mr. Noble usually tells us I guess the lesson plan today. So we're probably doing various automotive tasks, which is probably the van that we're working on right now, or we had the van back here that we had, but we were giving it back to the person because we couldn't figure out to get it running. So it just varies in between different classes because I know Intro to Power Mechanics does their own engine stuff, or they're in the process of learning the basic fundamentals of automotive, air, fuel mixture, and combustion.
This one right here, the coolant temp sender. Let's get that unclipped. Don't I just pull that one?
So we were just working on, there was a little coolant leak. We went in, started filling it up again, and it was leaking at the thermometer. So we got an aftermarket part, which was designed a little different from the OEM, just that stock part that the car normally came with. And so there was just a little space, and millimeters make the difference, and it started leaking out of there. So we just went back, put the OEM one back on, it was still fine, and it should hopefully after that be good to go. I think this year the most challenging, we had a Yukon in here and replaced the transmission, and that one took weeks and weeks. We went on to winter break, and so it just felt like it was in here forever, and that one was hard. Had some impossible bolts to get to. But yeah, other than that, we're always doing brakes, oil changes. That is the one feeling you're always chasing. It's once a project's done, it's just so satisfying, and especially when it works fine.
I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Probably 10 millimeter if I was a betting man. And then we're gonna have these three under here, and if we have to lift it back up, we can lift it back up to get these three. It's down. It's all the way down.
I love auto tech. It's a lot of fixing the cars. I've always liked working with my hands, not sitting down, so it's always kept me moving. There's one we did where it wasn't too hard, but it was different than what we usually do. We did transmission fluid change, oil change, and a fuel system, a fuel pump change. I did the fuel pump. I was covered in fuel when we were done.
That's your thermostat game.
Yeah, there's still a bolt. Because they were parallel.
Yeah. Well, actually, this and this. Because there's one hose already here.
That's what was hanging up on.
Yeah, twist the O-ring. You did that?
Well, I just walked it.
Last year, I had a student, we actually did head gasket repair on a Duramax, an LBZ Chevy Duramax. So we pulled the heads, all new head gas, sent the heads down to Lindvig Machine here in Phoenix, and Dean Lindvig machined the heads for us and we put them back on. That's probably the biggest project I took on in the last 3 years. This year, we've done 2 transmission replacements. So I just have a rubric for any of our repairs, and it's based on, you know, are they observing shop safety? Are they cleaning up their tools? Did they complete the repair? So we go over a basic rubric, and they get scored based on, you know, their participation in the shop, not really a severity of the repair. It's more based on, hey, did you, remove the component and put the new component on? Okay, were we able to accomplish that or not? But it's really more of a, they got out there, they got their hands dirty, and that's really what I want. Even if it's not repairing a vehicle, it could be, you know, something on their HVAC system fails at home, and they're like, wait, I know how to use a multimeter. I know how to use a set of pliers and this wrench. I can take this component off and replace it. So it's just that hands-on on the tools, using it. It transfers to and it builds confidence.
See how that pump just snaps on there? Usually there's an O-ring right here that sucks up the fluid.
And we get a lot of kids, I always say we unlock something they didn't know they had. They come in from the middle school and they didn't know they had that hands-on skill because they've never had the opportunity to use it. And in the intro classes, we start with our small engines. So it's great that they can start on something small and basic, like a 6-horse little Briggs & Stratton engine. So we start with that. That's kind of their first introduction to, hey, I'm gonna tear this apart and put it back together. So in intro class, they'll tear a Briggs & Stratton single-cylinder engine all the way to a bare block and reassemble it. And then we go into Auto 1, Auto 2, Auto 3. So they have some experience with tools by the time I see them in Auto 1, Auto 2, that they have that little bit of confidence that, hey, I can do this.